My name is Dr. Daniel Kenneth Weiss. I'm a prosthodontist here at Nashville Aesthetic Dentistry. One of the most common questions that I'll get is, what is a veneer? And a veneer is a dental restoration that makes a tooth look better in any way that we would like, whether it's a different color, a different shape, if we want it to look natural, if we want it to look unnatural. We can achieve any aesthetic goal that we would like in a incredibly conservative and incredibly long-lasting way. So in our office, we do a tremendous amount of porcelain veneers. We sort of limit the amount of composite veneers that we do. And although there are indications for composite veneers, we prefer the aesthetics of a porcelain veneer, long-lasting qualities of a porcelain veneer, and just the overall process of a porcelain veneer. In our office, we try to be as conservative as we can, and we try not to prepare the teeth and take away good tooth structure. We're still able to achieve that with porcelain veneers. It's a little bit harder to do on our end and on the laboratory's end, but we feel that the result is so much better that we really lean into relying on porcelain over composite. Without a doubt, the most natural, longest lasting type of veneer is going to be a porcelain veneer. Even though our composites that we use nowadays are incredibly aesthetic, incredibly strong, nothing is going to beat the tried and true porcelain veneer. It's the difference between a Pyrex glass container and a Tupperware container. A Tupperware container is going to stain, it's going to get all funky in the dishwasher, and Pyrex is good from day one, 10 years later, as long as you don't drop it on the floor. The investment of time and dollars in a porcelain veneer really ends up paying for itself over the long periods of time that we are expecting a patient to have their porcelain veneers. We can reliably get double-digit years out of porcelain veneers, and when we start getting into 15, 20 plus years, when we start getting into these upper double-digit years, 15, 20, 25, the investment that is initially put in has paid for itself multiple times over. Composite veneers are a really great, quick, and easy solution, but will require so much more maintenance over time that you'll end up paying 3 or 4 times over your lifespan for the same result. So when we start a smile design, we can expect the length of treatment to be about 6 weeks from start to finish, sometimes less, sometimes more, just depending on the situation. It does require sort of 2 separate larger visits where we get the teeth ready for the veneers, and then when we get the veneers back from the laboratory, we bond those to the teeth. Composite veneers can be done in one visit. We always are going to want to follow up with the patient, want to do any tweaks or changes that the patient may want. We can typically achieve that in that 6-week time frame. Part of my job as a dentist at Nashville Aesthetic Dentistry is to not tell a patient what they need or what they want. When I meet a patient for the first time during our records visit, most of the time is spent in conversation. It helps us get to know the patient, helps us figure out the aesthetic goals of a patient. Depending on what the patient tells us, it gives us a bit of a roadmap in terms of options. Modern dentistry can allow us to make sweeping changes to almost every single tooth in a patient's mouth, but not every single patient needs that or even wants that. And so it really becomes a very patient-specific decision. And what works for this patient would not even scratch the surface of the goals of a different patient. I think the thing that separates us from a lot of offices is figuring that out in a very relational context so that our patient is happy at the end, and we've done a good service by giving the patient what they want, the way that they are imagining their smile, rather than a stock contrived fake look. If you're looking for a refresh in your current smile, the best thing that you can do is reach out to our office and we'll schedule a consultation. It doesn't cost anything, number one, but it just gives us an opportunity to start to get to know you and see if we're a fit for you.